What I'm surprised about is, I'll be honest, there is a tremendous curiosity around your performance in Padmaavat, and how one can just gauge that is, as I mentioned to you, that we did this interview with you in IFA, and we had this
Yeah.
headline regarding Ranveer Singh, considering that you've not given any interviews whatsoever, and then that interview is literally flying right now. It's crossed 3 lakh video
Yeah.
views right now, and it's in a span of a day, it's crossed like a lakh video views, which is like really something that it's literally flying.
Yeah, it's also the first one that pops up if you Google me, you know?
I say it does. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you Google me, na, it's the first video that pops up, like right underneath the IMDb, that stuff that usually
Oh,
comes.
okay, okay, okay. So, how do you react to this intense sort of scrutiny around your performance, and people are really liking it? It comes as a surprise package because you're not part of the promos. Have you ever got this sort of response? You had a wonderful response to Neerja as well, but this feels
Yeah,
like,
it
in
feels
terms
very
of box
similar to
office, it has
Neerja.
already almost like crossed 160, I think, crores so far in India, and overseas as well. It's doing
Wow.
exponentially well.
Wow. For me, this feeling is similar as that to Neerja again, like, because I was not part of the promos, because I was not part of everything like that. And I always trust, that they know what they're doing in terms of that. And, if the performance speaks, then people will know later. And I also personally don't like to talk about my role or the film itself too much before it's come out, because I don't like to color people's opinions.
Right.
I'm much more interested in what people have to say, and what they have gotten from the performance, and what they can see, because that's, to me, is the best feedback of, for moving forward, to see if what you were trying to do was accepted or was received.
Right.
And so much of the reason that is the case, of course, is because of the rest of the team working on it, because of the way Sanjay sir has, edited and chosen and helped and directed my performance, and
Right.
of course Sudeep Dada, and
Cinematographer.
having such a wonderful co-actor, Ranveer.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are literally talking about your chemistry. The sparks are flying in cinema hall.
Yeah.
Literally. In fact, I spoke to Ranveer and he was like that it was really, it's really awesome that Jim is getting the sort of props that he's getting and the sort of response that he's getting. It's really awesome. So, and I believe in an interview you've mentioned that it's really nice when you have like a supportive co-star that always gets that bonding on screen better.
Yeah, when you have not just necessarily supportive, even if he wasn't friendly to me at all, let's say he was, we
Right.
both got along very well personally,
Right.
but say we didn't even get along like that, and he still brought the same energy to the scene,
Right.
and that energy was always fresh, always new, always was trying to find a different way to express a moment. He was clearly also responding to everything that Sanjay sir was throwing at him, and Sanjay sir throws a lot at you. He's really improvisational. He comes with a new idea for the scene. So even if you prepped something in your mind the day before, the morning of, some new element might be added, which now is the main focus of the scene, that you have to somehow recalibrate what you had worked out in your head to fit around this new element.
Right.
And Ranveer, as a co-actor, he's very intelligent, and he's very reactive and very responsive. And I could see his performance changing based on what I was doing.
Right.
And he'd give me a new impulse in return,
Right.
which then I had to change my performance in response to that. And
Correct.
then after we had figured out the beat of the scene,
Right.
after we had like kind of gotten it, then it became about like perfecting it with precision, about like managing to do everything that we had, in through rehearsals and through takes discovered, and
Right.
like really making it crystallize.
Right.
And I know I've said this one before, but this is the thing that I find the most valuable, which is, as an actor, you can't choose when inspiration or when the magic will come.
Right.
All you can do is do your part, be reactive, be open, be responsive, and
Right.
hope that the genius comes and sits by you,
No, definitely.
and helps you.
Definitely.
And Whether me and Ranveer managed to get it or not, every
Mm-hmm.
scene is another debate. But the fact is, I always felt like this was a co-actor who, together with me, was making a hospitable environment for the magic.
Right, right. No,
We were
absolutely.
making an environment that the magic would want to come and sit at and would want to stay at. And
Right,
that's all you can hope for.
right, absolutely. I think that you still haven't seen the movie with in cinema hall.
I've seen it, yeah, in 3D. I want to watch it again in the
2D,
2D format.
2D. Yeah, I've seen it in 2D as well. Now it is considering that you're from theater. Obviously, when you're in theater, you can do almost everything, and everything should be okay. One has to be non-judgmental about it. But still, here you're portraying like sexual feelings for a man, and you know that it's like for the consumption of a huge number of people, and it's a character that will be judged obviously, and it can if it works the way it is working, but if it goes wrong, then you never know where it can possibly just head to. Did you have apprehensions before just saying yes to
No,
Malik
not in the
Kapoor?
slightest. I found the character so interesting.
Very
For
interesting.
me, all of these things, like even back to the Neerja days when people told me, "Oh, a villain, your first project, villain," and uh, I didn't have any apprehensions then either. Like for me, if a character is interesting, then a character is interesting. I don't care about positive, negative, gay, straight.
Right. No, absolutely.
I think these are just
Mm.
labels that we are all uncomfortable with, and people are having a tough time, or people are still struggling with its place in society. But I'm not. I think it's
No, absolutely. That's fine. You're from theater, and obviously you will be definitely from whatever we've known of you. You have absolutely evolved. There's no doubt about that. But when one looks at the movie, there are several emotions that you are bringing to the table. That maybe I think only you are bringing to the table, like the emotion of jealousy, the way you are feeling jealous of Aditi Rao Hedri, the way you are feeling jealous of because obviously Ranveer's character is bisexual, so his
oh
fascination for like say the women
Padmavati.
whom he's
Actually,
of
I
for
don't feel
Padmavati,
jealous.
even
Sorry,
Binte Dil when you are
sorry to
singing,
interrupt.
yeah,
I don't feel jealous about Meru at all. Actually,
yeah, you're more of a witch
uh,
over there. You're more of a witch over
yeah, with Meru, it's just like I don't see her as equal
competition.
competition.
He's
Malik
not
Kafur
competition,
doesn't.
right? Okay,
Because he sees the way that he treats her, and
right,
he sees the way that she's reacting to him,
right,
and he's just watching and waiting for her to make a wrong move that I feel like I was trying to play that he was sure she would.
right,
He can see the resentment building up in her. And what was interesting for me when I read the script as well is that both Meru and Malik Kafur have jealousy towards Padmavati.
right,
So I was trying to think, what kind of jealousy would Malik Kafur's character have? What would be the quality of his jealousy? Because he is a proud man. He's a
right,
vain, proud man, right?
correct, correct,
And I felt like his version of jealousy wouldn't be to feel sorry for himself.
right,
His version of jealousy would be to continue to try to come in the way, to continue to try to be close to the person,
right,
knowing full well also that this is the best possible life for him imaginable.
right,
He's gone from being a slave sold in a market
right.
to being perhaps the second most powerful person in an empire.
No, absolutely.
And yeah, exactly what I really like that thing about the Shakespearean witch. But I think
Shakespearean
of
witch,
him
yes,
more.
that was coming to that.
I
Yeah,
think of him more as a Shakespearean fool.
fool as well.
Like the fool in King Lear, who's there with King Lear and is the
Right,
only person that King Lear listens to at all.
right,
While King Lear also slaps him and fires him and kicks him out of the court, and all of that kind of stuff is there.
right,
But he's this kind of character who's like cavorting with kings and princes and just doesn't take this entire world that seriously.
right.
Like a nobleman, like Itat Khan, for example,
Mm-hmm.
is full of rage and pride and all of these kinds of things in this world. Whereas Malik, this is the best possible situation for him imaginable. He just
Right,
doesn't take it all seriously.
correct.
But, however, going back to the point of what would be the quality of his jealousy, I still feel that, like, it gets to start off trying to get in the way, and then I think once Malik Kafur realizes that he can't get in the way,
Right.
then it becomes okay. Then let him get what he wants. Then we'll see. We'll
Correct.
see then. Until he gets what he wants, it's impossible. So let him get what he wants. Maybe he'll be disappointed. Maybe
Right.
he'll realize that actually it's me.
Right.
And I like that he has a different kind of quality of jealousy than Meru. Meru's is more cannot believe it, cannot understand it, thinks
Correct.
it's a sin.
Correct.
Malik's type of jealousy is chalo, dekhte hain.
Right. Right. You're communicating through the eyes. You're communicating through the change of facial expressions, which is interesting.